In eastern Kentucky, he had an accident years and years ago that left him paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair. He has a condition that would cause him to go blind, and he should be on opioids, but instead he's on medical marijuana. And as a result of this, he's been able to stave off going blind with glaucoma, and he has been able to not have to get on opioids for his pain because of medical marijuana. You'll hear the audio, and then we'll talk to a state representative from right here in the Louisville area who is filing a bill next week to legalize medical marijuana in Kentucky. News Radio 840 WHAS. Whoa. News Radio 840 WHAS. I am Leland Conway. So next week, there will be a piece of legislation being put forth in the Kentucky legislature that would legalize medical marijuana. Courier-Journal did a piece. No, I'm sorry, Kentucky.com did a piece. It's a Herald leader over in Lexington. Out of Orangeburg, Kentucky, is a man named Eric Crawford. He controls glaucoma and painful spasms. He's 46 years old, and the spasms make him flop like a fish out of water, but he can use medical marijuana to control those and his glaucoma. He's not going blind, but he should be, but he's not. So it's anecdotal evidence that medical marijuana is keeping him healthier despite his restriction to a wheelchair. Apparently what happened, he tells the story that back in 1994, he was, quote, chasing women with his buddies in Morehead State University, and a black Holstein cow in the middle of the road at night on Kentucky Highway 11 between Maysville and Lewisburg hit their car. I don't know if they hit it or it hit them. Anyway, it went up in the air, and it landed on the car's roof above Crawford. He was the only one hurt, but he was confined to a wheelchair the rest of his life. Spinal injury. So as a result of that, it snapped his spinal cord when the cow fell on the roof of the car. That is a horrible series of events. That is an absolutely horrible series of events. Anyway, he talked to the Herald leader, and he said, why am I a criminal for taking this medicine, natural medicine, that is helping me be healthier?
As medical cannabis should have never been illegal, and patients need safe access and the choice to use it for their ailments. And they shouldn't be criminals.
Yeah, because otherwise we put them on opioids and then they get addicted to that and they actually do become criminals. Are you kidding me? So the guy makes a really good point.
All your legs.
And he also, let me see if I can find this other bite here, because they asked him if he thought it made him better.
Yes, sir, it has helped me. I don't have to take any opioids, and I'm not going blind.
You feel like you would go blind if you did not have medical marijuana?
The science says I would. Science, the way my doctors, I've went without it, and my pressure got uncontrollable, and I went with it, and my pressure
got better. So basically with medical marijuana, he's not going blind. Otherwise, he'd be blind. He says, look, call your legislator.
Please call your legislators, 1-800-372-7181, and tell them to get behind medical cannabis. And if you've called, ask your friends to call and tell them to pass the line on down and keep calling to get medical cannabis legal.
All right, so let's put aside for a minute the idea of recreational marijuana and revenue gathering and all of that, and let's just talk about the humanity of medical marijuana. I know I can already hear your reactions. The first reaction is like, well, it's going to be like California, and everybody with a skinned elbow is going to have marijuana and be smoking it everywhere. No, you don't have to do it that way. And any legislator who claims that is ridiculous, because they're the ones who would set the parameters on this. We can regulate it any way we want as a state. We're starting from scratch here. No legislator has an excuse to be able to say something like, well, we won't be able to control it. Yes, you will. You can control the number of plants that can be grown. You can control who can grow those plants. You can control who can sell those plants. You can control who buys those plants. You can control the tax amount on that. You can control who prescribes those plants. You can control what they prescribe those plants for. You can control all of it. Much as I hate that, you can control all of it. So why not do it? Because the alternative in Kentucky is that we're one of the highest level of states with addictions to opioids and other hard drugs that are a result of opioids out there. There's also strong statistical evidence, studies that show that the states that have legalized at least medical marijuana, but also recreational, have seen a 25% drop in opioid abuse. That's pretty staggering. And it also refutes the, it's a gateway drug. Well, you know what's a gateway drug? Opioids prescribed by your doctor. That's a gateway drug. Because that's the actual drug that you'll be taking when you get addicted to it. And the one you will go to no lengths to try to get once your prescription runs out, and that will make you a criminal. Marijuana is simply a natural plant that's been around, used medicinally by native peoples for thousands of years. Anyway, we'll talk more about this. Representative Jason Nemus joins us. He used to be against it. He was against it, and now he's for it.